What's going on, Aquarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Aquarius. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Because it's General Energy Weekly Spread. Yeah, this I think that's almost about locked in. It's feeling kind of groovy there, the opener. But, nature my problem. I'm almost got it figured out. But with this weekly video, whenever you happen to come across an Aquarius, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on the situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Aquarius. So I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down in the description box are some links for some other readers that I like, Aquarius, so definitely give them a check out. Definitely cool kind of vibes, kind of switch things up a little bit. Very intuitive group, so hopefully you'll like them as well. But let's get to your first card here. Oh, I'm with it, and that's how you do it, Aquarius. Work with this Cancerian energy. You got the 9th card of Cancers here, which is the Rainbow card. I love it, because this is a card of wish granted, serendipity, blessing, patience pays off, abundance, hope, good luck, patience, promise, godsend, creation, manifesting wealth, prosperity, and perfect timing. And it feels like with this energy, Aquarius, and just in general, this feels like this is an energy of like very kind of like very mindful and thoughtful type of manifestation. I feel like it's one, because I feel like it's one thing to have like the vision and all this stuff. I feel like yours is a sign, you're being, one of your rulers is Uranus. You're very future oriented, and I feel like you all can find that big picture and see so grand, and you got the whole canvas and everything figured out. But it's the focusing on when we have that picture in mind, it's just picking a place and where we're starting, and I feel like there's an energy here of, with the patience and the patience paying off. I feel like that there's just like, as things make sense, it's going to start lining up. Let's say, for like when you're thinking about like, I'm just thinking like architecture, for example, you're thinking about your foundation first, and then, I'm not an architect, so hang with me. It's like, then I imagine we're getting like the framing next, the bars and things, and then we're I don't know, then we're starting to add more of the windows, and the body is starting to get beautiful. It's like, it's just, I feel like that it's more than just focusing on the big picture. It's just like really focusing on the details of it as well. There's an energy here of just like, because maybe we're this type, it's like once you get this thing figured out, it's just like we want it all, and I get it, it's just like sometimes you just want to just like skip most of the growth, because it's just like you've got an idea of what it's going to look like and how great it's going to be, but it's just like that those steps up to this, like, because this gives me very kind of like 10 of Cups, and gets into that even like that sort of like 10 of Pentacles type of energy as well, that kind of wish fulfillment, happily ever after and all that stuff. I feel that it's appreciating that journey up to that step, because if you just had everything that you wanted today, then it's just like, okay, what's next then? Then it gives you like nothing, and then if it's like that instant gratification, and I feel like that's something too. We've been in a time of just like that instant gratification that it's almost like it's almost gotten a little forgotten how good the work can be when you're working towards your dreams, and getting that wish fulfillment and stuff, like how good that can feel when you are getting closer to those steps, when you're getting further away from that, like, that beginner stage, that novice, that tyro phase, and then you're getting into the state of, like, intermediate, and then getting into that master, that master level. But very interesting here, Aquarius. Let's get some tarot on this. Alright, Aquarius, thank you. Let's see what we got here. Okay, there's half the dream. I'm with it. So you got the Three of Wands, the Four of Discs, the Three of Discs, the Ace of Swords, and then the Ten of Cups. And I feel like the energy here, Aquarius, I feel like it's taking whatever this idea that you have, and then I don't know, there's something here about taking it, and when we're working towards this thing, it's just like, first it's getting the foundation, it's because it's going to be work, whatever this is, because I do feel like with you being such an innovative sign, I do feel like your ideas are very grand, like what you really want to, what would really just fill up all your cups here. And it feels that in order to really get the most out of this expansion, it's to set that foundation, really kind of work, because go from three of discs to Four of discs. This is all Capricorn energy, and Capricorn, they're the achievers of the zodiac, and they share a ruler with you, Saturn, and it just seems that it's going to be where. And listen, just because you're being Saturn ruled, I do feel like yours is a little different from Capricorn's, though, because I do feel like where it is going to be a little bit of a slow burn. We're definitely playing long game. When I feel like with how whatever it is that you're cooking up, Aquarius, but I do feel like with that Uranus energy, I feel like this is something, if you keep that vision in mind, there are going to be these like random little, like, it's like Uranus brings about just like that sporadic change, and I just feel like that if we just kind of hang tight and keep that hope, keep that end game in mind, even when the foundation is feeling kind of rocky, and I feel like, and listen, this is one of those things that's like, make sure, let's keep a little thing in our back pocket, make sure if we're having troubles getting this foundation started up at first, but it's remembering that, even because, for example, I'm working towards my rainbows here, picked up a little side gig on the side, gotta get some bills paid and stuff, but it's fine, but it's not, and that's something too. I feel like that it's remembering that we're building our life around the dream, around the Ten of Cups, the rainbow, that our dream, we don't work our dreams around the stuff, trying to find that balance there, you know what I mean? And sometimes we do got to get, sometimes we do got to get a little creative there, and, think outside of the box. But luckily, it's you, Aquarius. So, but let's, because you got the Seven of Discs here. Let me move some of this over. You got the Seven of Discs, you have the Five of Wands, and then you have the Hermit. And I feel that with the Five of Wands and the Seven of Discs, if we've been feeling in this state of frustration, we feel like that it's been maybe a lot of setbacks and things, with whatever we've been focusing on. I feel like the Hermit gives us a chance to kind of pull back for a second, to reevaluate this dream that we have, and because I'm not getting an energy of that. Because I feel like, with whatever you're pursuing, whatever this, this could be a hobby, this could be for self-improvement, whatever this is looking like. I feel like as long as it stays true to you, it's really, it's what lights your heart up, like how this little light shining on this hermit here is making Cerberus all happy, but as long as it makes you all happy as well, there. Of course, I love that Cerberus is in this card. It's things will fall into place, and it's just like in something too to think about, Aquarius. With being that Uranus is one of your rulers. Uranus, to be able to spark that energy of the future, to be able to have that stroke of genius, because remember, Aquarius energy is nothing short of genius energy, but it's one of those things. You are powerful intuitives as well, but it's figuring out how that, I feel like, that intuition translates, and figuring out, because maybe this is something where it's just like we maybe even just trying to find our thing, getting just figuring out what that idea is, what you want to lay out here, what you want to invest in, what does your pot of gold at this end of the rainbow look like. But I do feel like, especially with kind of Saturn being in a very kind of spiritual energy, for the next 3 years, Uranus, everyone's going to be making the next big move for both of your rulers is going to be in 2025. And that's going to be an interesting time, I feel, for you, Aquarius. You got a lot of change that's coming with Pluto being in your sign, but it's going to be a lot to think about. And this is something where I feel like try not to let the energies get to where this place keep you down, or keep you, if anything, let that anger fuel you. That first is like, okay, I've been in this spot. What can I do? What can I do to get closer? What I need to change up to get into this, to get back into my wish granted energy, where it feels like, because maybe it feels like because it almost feels like that the luck is ran out or something along those lines, or that it feels like that it's just been, just because even when you think about this card with the Seven of Discs and the failures, the nice thing about failures is that they show you areas where you need to grow, and it's just one of those things. We could either let those energies define us and we invest in that like that, or we can let it help us grow, help it motivate us. I feel like it's really being intentional, very, very mindful with your energies here. More. All right, hopefully that made sense, Aquarius. Let's get some tea, and let's get some more on this. Aquarius. Dope. Looks like we are going within Aquarius, because you got the fourth card of Pisces here, which is Scuba Diver card. With this card, this is a card of going within, observation, 0 point self-examination, exploring the unconscious mind. I like that. In the void, desire to know, self-reflection, disconnecting, deep thoughts, and subliminal. And a lot of stuff that's coming through here, because this is some big stuff when we're thinking about like what wishes we want granted, what abundance looks like for us, how do we manifest our wealth, our prosperity, creation, things along those lines. And I do feel like that it is a part of exploring that unconscious mind, really sitting with yourself, finding whatever a meditative state looks like for you. Because, again, with Saturn being in Pisces right now, that energy's, I was just telling Capricorn this, like while I was shuffling, and then the Eight of Cups, the Saturn in Pisces, popped right out. And there's been a lot of Saturn energy going down, and I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on this. We're going through a very spiritual time, when Saturn makes a move, he means business. And but I feel like with this one, this is a dope situation here, because it really is helping us to discover that divine wisdom, and really get to know ourselves on a deeper level, and reflect and figure out what ways we can grow and expand, and really get to this place of fulfillment, allowing our dreams to come true. And I'm with it. And I do feel like that I feel like you might be down with it too. There's this desire to know, and I feel like that yours is one that is a curious mind, Aquarius, and I feel like that let that greater understanding, let you be like your curiosity in the sense of like, are you really tapping into the things that you really want, or is there something here with this hermit that's something a little bit deeper, a little bit it's just like maybe we've gotten like a little spot of sunlight here, but it's just like we just go a little bit more, kind of I'm not sure if this is how they're implying it, but like if we're getting to this 0 point in a state of like resetting to zero and just kind of building, just kind of almost like internally just kind of like going down to like ground zero, finding who you are. I'm with it. Let's hold on. Let's get some tarot on this because I feel like that's gonna be. Let's go on a dive, Aquarius. Oh, I'm with it. Oh, yeah. Because that's going to lead to some change. Absolutely. That's definitely give me Scorpio vibes all day. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let's go in. I'm glad you're with me too, Aquarius. Oh, man. Let's see what we got here. Oh, wait, look at that. Oh, there's Capricorn. All right. So we got the Death card here. We got the Devil. And then we got the Nine of Cups here. And so with this Nine of Cups, I don't know. There feels like that there's something about on a base level, it's just... This almost kind of feels like looking, kind of like evaluating, just like taking a moment, just pausing and just kind of seeing where life's at and where we can apply more happiness. Because I don't want to feel like, because the question that kind of came through is just like, are we happy? But I feel like it's a little broader than that. It's like, it's more so just like, what areas can we work on to bring more happiness into our lives? What are some things that we can maybe change here that need to evolve, that need to, what metamorphosis needs to go through? What's holding us back with the Devil? And the Devil is not just... I don't feel like the Devil just represents, just like that there is a problem, like that there's maybe an addiction, a vice, whatever this is looking like. I feel like the Devil is also a reminder that that life is hard work. It's because there's always something that can be worked on, always, and it's like there's that constant need for change, and it gets I'm just even just thinking about it. Sometimes it just like because it's like I'm with it sometimes, but the Devil, he does a lot. And it can get to this place of where it is frustrating, where it's just like, what the F, and like, when is it enough? It's like, you do something, you just got out of a deep dive and then you come up for air and then it's just like, here's more stuff. Goodbye. And it's like, how do you keep that energy of happiness and keep that manifestation, keep that in that mindset of abundance where that it keeps, that vibration. It's a complex game, Aquarius, but I do feel like that yours is a sign, like, and we all can accomplish it, but I feel like yours is one that can... Because I do feel like it's one of those things where we all go through it. And I feel like with your sign being the sign of humanitarianism and really kind of connect to the soul tribe here, there's something here. Let me get a little bit more on the Death card. There's like something here about like connecting, maybe, I don't know, like sharing these deep thoughts or something that you have, Aquarius. Let me get a little more on that. Because that's something too to think about when we're thinking about sharing our experiences. It just kind of popped in my head there. Because you do think from you think from like not even left field. You think from like outside of the field. It's that we need those kind of perspectives. That kind of broad, that really broad way of thinking. Sometimes it's. So the Death card is clarified by one of your cards, the Six of Swords, the Two of Cups, and then the Two of Disc here. And I do feel like with this, it's it's the focus, you know, where we directing this, our minds, our mental energy at, because this is Mercury in Aquarius, and that's a really smart placement for Mercury to be at. And it's just like, where are we expending this genius power? You know, is it towards, the failures, or the fact that maybe more, or again, like whatever distraction, you know, the devil may be kind of cooking up in your world. And if so, you know, like, what can we do to alleviate that? You know, what's the focus? How do we get back to connecting with self? You know, how do we change the narrative back towards, get this put in, because now you're racking up a lot of Capricorn energy. You got all their minor arcana cards here. We're just missing the Queen of Pentacles, and we'll be in good shape. But, and that might be something too, like this thing feels like this, it might be maybe in for some work, Aquarius, like these next, but I feel like it's going to be something that's going to be worth it in the long run. It's going to, this, with a little patience, and I know how that sounds, because I don't like to hear that either, but because it's just like literally when, and I feel like it's just like, when we I don't know, it's just like when we find this, there's something here that while we're getting this thing figured out, since you got all the time in the world, you know, while we're being patient, we can take this time. I don't know, Aquarius, it's really interesting, this energy here, but the desire to know really kind of stands out here. And I feel like the answer, if we've been looking externally, I think that it's all, the answer is usually within here, Aquarius, is just finding out how to access that energy. And that's hard work, you know, and it's a constant refinement and change and things, but it's beautiful in the long run. Let's get your last oracle card here. Interesting. So Aquarius, you got all three of the water signs here, and Scorpio, and a little extra bit of Scorpio here. You got Cancer, Scorpio, oh, where'd you go? Scorpio and Pisces. So before we get into that, Capricorn did a little something. So they got a bunch of Earth energy with theirs, but this feels like it's going to be a very intuitive energy for you whenever you happen to come across this, that there's going to be a need to tap into something deeper. Like, there's something here about journeying into that in the void. There's something here that's wanting to be explored. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I do feel like it's something. Be mindful of how we get fixated on it. You know, let's try not to take on more than you can. Then if it becomes too much, pull back a little bit, because Scorpio, they have a tend to do like a real deep dive. I'm surprised that this is a Pisces card, but let's talk about this cat card here. You look at you sitting up here, can't be bothered. You got the fourth card of Scorpios, which is the cat card, and this is a card of apathetic, disinterested, aloof, my way or the highway, bored, unflappable, cool cat, unaffected, not my problem, what I want, when I want it, cool and calm, and disengaged. And the energy that's kind of coming through is like the what I want, when I want it, and which I like that, but I feel like I feel like the what. I feel like both these, because these almost more so feel like questions, you know, for like, than like more so statements. Because I feel like if we know what we want, when we want it, really depends on us. You know, when we start taking that action, that Capricorn energy, and start getting that work and getting this thing done, and then Virgo energy with the Hermit, getting in this routine. You know what I mean? And then changing Scorpio as things come up here. You know, because it's like, I feel like it's, when we're working with the energies, for example, it's just like, I feel like there are, it's hard to really say, like, really, it's like a when is, it's really just depends on you. It's like I feel like astrology can like tell you like when is a great time, like when the energies are really hot, but we don't have to wait till those times to get things started. You can get this stuff started beforehand, get it started after the fact, but I do feel like that it's more so like realizing that you are more in control than you think, maybe. You know, it's just like, maybe there's just been this idea of just like, it's just going to, like just gonna like hit you one day. That is just I'm not quite sure what that is. It's like we're let me get some tarot on this. Let's get some but I really do feel again with your ruler, one of your ruler Saturn being in Pisces and just all this water energy for your oracle cards, just being you're in a very intuitive energy right now and will be for the next 3 years. So just something to think about. And Uranus is in Taurus, and it's like, you know, you can solidify that. There's yeah, connecting with higher self. You got the Lovers here, and that's like your higher self for me winking at you. Gemini energy. It's like how we're communicating with ourselves. You know, how do we get to that Zen place, to that like really to that void? There's something about getting deep questions. You know, like I'm not. Where are we at? Where? All right, last little bit Aquarius. All right, and look at that. There's the other little half of your rainbow there, because you got 10 of Cups here, and now here's your 10 of Pentacles. We got the Lovers, we got the Princess of Cups, and we got the 8 of Swords. And let's switch back over, because I feel like with this energy here, just because you got the 7 of Disc here, and with this 8 of Swords, it feels like that if we've been giving our energy to something, because you know the princesses, you know, they represent Earth. You know, they're you know, the princesses are the Earth. So the Princess of Cups is the earthy part of water, and I say that because when you think about, you know, watering the Earth, you know, it's how you're getting your garden to grow. You're getting your abundance to grow. But if we've been feeling like, I don't know, what we've invested in hasn't been working, or if there's something with the 8 of Swords. It's like there's like this interference, or this energy of just like really kind of getting in our heads, because the 8 of Swords, sometimes when I talk about this card, you know, you got these 2 main swords here that are lying on these 6, and I feel like that maybe for some, when we go at a situation, we have like, usually like our go-tos have been to go for these first 2 swords. You know, we could usually solve a lot of our problems with this stuff here. But then when there's like a unique situation that's been thrown at you, it's like when those first 2 swords don't work, then it's just like, then there's this state of just like almost like a freeze, or just like a I'm not quite sure how to explain that, but it's just like it's when those situation pops up, it's like there's more. It's asking you to call on a different type of skill. They'll kind of tap into, I don't know, like a different type of energy. But it's interesting, Chris. You got a lot of stuff here of, you know, thinking about like, I don't know. It's like I feel like it's almost feels like we believe that we can't make our wish come true, and I feel like when we get to that place, that's when we're almost getting ready to get a breakthrough. But it's just like maybe there's something else that we can do in the meantime. It's like, how do we keep that dream supported? I'm not. It's. Let me get a little bit more on this 8 of Swords. Let me find out what this blockage is. Let's see if I can. Wow. So, so the 8 of Swords is clarified by the Sun and the Moon. And so it's literally like, because this after before the Sun is the Moon. And it feels like way for some of us, we may be in this moon phase. Like we're in this state of figuring out what we want to do with this sunlight here. You know, this little scarab beetle's carrying the sun, and the sun or the moon is just a reflection of the sunlight here. This is Pisces energy, and look at that. You're racking up. We got we're missing this Cancer, and so, and that could be something too. You know, maybe there's an energy of I'm not quite sure. You know, Aquarius. It's very. there's an energy here. I feel like with the sun, it's like it's. I feel like because I love doing this with the hermit and the sun. It's just like there's an energy here of like of going within and kind of asking, is this what your want your sunlight to look like? And when we shine this light on the like ask ourselves these deep questions, then the sun like pops out here because your little sun was in here. Now you made the sun rise there, Aquarius. I'm with it. I hope that made sense, but that's fascinating. It feels like we're kind of in this place at odds. Like maybe it's like, which is funny. I was just gonna say, seems like the moon and the sun are kind of in opposition right now. We are getting ready to come up on the full moon in Capricorn. I forgot to tell Capricorn that, so I'm gonna tell you that. Tell Capricorn, but. This is a time for celebrating your achievements, with that full moon entering Capricorn. And I feel like that if we don't feel like we have anything to celebrate, it's just like, one, it's like, of course you do, because we may be in a place of being stuck, but at least you've been working on something, and you've been working towards a dream, and that's worthy of celebration in itself. But it's like now we're taking it to that next level. It's I hope that makes sense, Aquarius. I think I'm gonna pull out of that, but yeah, interesting. But if anything resonated with you, if you like that, Aquarius, give it a thumbs up and share this. Because this is very it's kind of deep energy here. Kind of asking these. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be very kind of introspective, kind of for all of us, Aquarius. And that's the thing. Like, it's something where you're not alone in this. This is a lot. This is, I feel like, a collective energy where we are asking ourselves these bigger kind of questions. What does my happiness look like? How can I achieve it? What are some other ways that we can go about this thing? I have some stuff that I'm trying to get cooked up in the mix here, and it's it's like it's a lot, trying to figure out this journey here sometimes. I'm about to get back to your reading, but share this and then subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each week. And then I'm on this meditation app. Maybe this might something to help you get tapped into that intuitive space. But I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer. And I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post like positive messages, encouraging affirmations, things along those lines. And then definitely as the group grows, I want to post start having it where it's like, going void of course with it's supposed to be the high priestess. Why the moon is, I always give Pisces flack for that, for being the moon. They should be the high priestess. But, I made, no, it's fine. Nature, my problem. But in Pisces. But, what are we talking about? All that info, but just check that out, Aquarius. And then lastly, well, you got one of Cancer's card. I love that rainbow card. So I say, you got a nice little Cancerian card there. Not that you need one. But if you have any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to my other channel, the Jared and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans, even if it's Pisces. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. Who else did this? Someone else did this Leo Sun combination. I think it might have been Capricorn. Now that I'm thinking about it. So there's an energy here. I think it was Capricorn. But I do feel like for both of you, because then if that's the case, because it feels a similar type of thing. With you got the Lust card as your surprise card, Leo here. And Leo's your opposite sign. And the sun is in detriment in your sign. And that just means the energy is weakened right now. And I feel like that may be where we're at right now, where it feels like that the energy might be kind of weakened. There's a lot of vulnerable energy. I feel like that's going down here, as far as, because when you get into that water energy, it's an interesting space, and then it always translates differently however it's placed. And I just feel like when we're in these spaces, and we're putting in this work, just being mindful of where you're pouring your energies, how we're feeling, checking in on and this is not medical advice, but, just checking in, how we're, because, Pisces energy is very dreamy kind of energy, just how we're sleeping, just how are we being, just making sure that we're even eating like home cooked meals and things along those lines. Just trying to do some nice things for the body, whatever that's looking like, keeping the energy moving. And that's another thing too. I really feel like, just keeping that energy moving. Like I feel like that's something that will And even, just because we can learn a lot of stuff from our opposite signs. I'm always talking to Cancer about Capricorn and vice versa, about how we can learn a lot from our opposites. And I feel like, well, let me get your oracle card. But I feel like with Leo, because you and Leo are very creative, but very on very different levels. I like to compare you to, it's like Aquarius is classical, whereas Leo is jazz. Both produce very beautiful music. Both express it differently, but there's something that can be learned from the other. Where yours is more technical, with your energy, and Leo can maybe learn to bring that structure. For Aquarius, it's learning to relax in the energy and just to let the just to not know, but just to kind of feel it. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And you got the birth card in reverse here. And so I feel like with this card, it's taking some time and really kind of sitting with this and kind of asking ourselves, is this, what are we trying to bring into existence here? What is your wish? Like I feel like I keep getting this energy of being in, like, really intentional with it. Like really kind of, I'm not sure, like really being in the Nine of Cups energy, in the sense of like, I don't know, it's like this could even be like creating like a mantra, when you feel like at your lowest, it's like, what do you tell yourself to get yourself back up to, like, okay, I'm in the spiral, but, and acknowledging the spiral, but then what do we do to get out of that, to like, okay, but okay, I'm feeling this way, and I'm tired of feeling this way. What do I need to do? Let's it's interesting there, Aquarius, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. But hopefully that made sense. So you stay safe out there, jumping into doing these deep dives, jumping into the void and whatnots, manifesting rainbows and brilliance. And raise your vibration to the roof, Aquarius. This is a lot. And like I was saying, the devil has very unorthodox ways of putting lessons in our face, and it's he means well. He really does. He like they Capricorn, they get it from Saturn, so you got that Uranus influence. So at least you kind of shake things up a little bit, but it's gonna get figured out, Aquarius. I feel it, and I will catch you on the next. Oh, that was a weird on. Just trying to bring a little fun in your life, Aquarius. But I'll catch you later.